I'm curious, you've worked with a lot of investors over the years, and doing a lot of different types of projects. This community is really focused on rental property. So maybe you
Yeah.
could gear your answer more toward rental property investors. But what's one of the biggest mistakes that you've seen investors make from your standpoint, or maybe the feedback that they've provided afterwards? Like, I really
Yeah.
wish I hadn't done this or that.
So we actually sold a handful of rental portfolios last year. That was a bulk of the 52 transactions we did. And I think some of those investors came back to me and said, hey, instead of buying the bottom of the barrel properties with the bottom of the barrel tenants, I'd like to increase the class of tenants and properties that I'm buying. So instead of C minus or D class properties, getting nicer areas and paying a little more for it, expecting
Hmm.
a lower overall return, but having a more stable area and tenant base. Um, I think you've seen that with your apartment here because it's such a great area
Hmm.
that the tenants are more stable and they're a higher percentage of them are paying rent, right?
Yeah, 100% paid in April, which one guy was late, but he paid. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, I think you're right, and I think especially right now with COVID, the ones that are $1,000 and below rent, it's a lot of frontline workers, servers or
Yeah,
retail workers, and these are the ones that were hit the hardest with unemployment. And so, but yeah, overall, that's a great point. So I think a lot of investors just focus on the purchase price, and they look at the cap rate if they can buy, a super cheap property, even if it's in a war zone,
yeah.
but the numbers on the spreadsheet don't always translate when you've got rough tenants.
I think that's kind of the evolution of investing through experience. Like I don't know if you've seen this in Chicago, but a lot of brand new investors might start on the south side because the deals are cheap, and then they graduate to investing on the north side of Chicago and doing pretty big deals, um but on the resale side, it's just a world of a difference because they don't have to worry as much about break-ins
Yeah.
and the construction materials being stolen in the middle of the project, and AC condensers missing in the
Yeah.
middle of the deal. I'm sure you've seen all of those things, but
Hmm.
um, getting a higher quality area and tenant base is going to make a world of a difference for it being a more stable investment, more secure
Yeah.
investment.
That's interesting. And those, you said that those investors bought a portfolio of
Yeah.
properties.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like how many? Like what? So they bought like a group of 10 properties, and they really just had to buy the whole portfolio to get the
Yeah.
deal.
So I think one of the portfolios we sold was 12 units. Another portfolio was 35 units. Another portfolio was 6 units, single family
Okay.
homes. Um, and a lot of those portfolios were in lesser desirable
Got it.
areas.
Yeah. So you get the economies of scale, but you can't pick and choose. Yeah, I,
Right.
I agree. I think that's interesting to look at because I would rather build slower and really put quality together as opposed to get that economy of scale with a whole bunch of units at the same time, which again on a spreadsheet it looks better, more deals. If the numbers are right, then it looks like you're going to make a lot more money. But all of a sudden you're managing 35 deals, and if you've got 35 challenging tenants, I would not want to take that on. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
interesting.
you're also going to be buying properties that are older,
Hmm.
typically, have more deferred maintenance. So you're going to have a lot more maintenance issues, and you're probably going to have tenants calling with maintenance issues too because things haven't been maintained over time. It's an older property, you
Yeah.
know.